So, has anyone else noticed things have been a tad strange lately? I mean, first, the sea's gone quiet for months on end. Something to note in its own right. Then there be that kerfuffle with LeChuck in the Sea of the Damned, which, by the by, is a story I'm still set on telling, so don't you worry. Anyway, while that's going on, the sovereigns start coercing pirates to all play nice and work together as guilds. And that leads to the creation of an entire pirate council. Still trying to figure that one out, mind. And now, to top it all off, there be all these funny blue skulls with scream at you scattered about. Now, I don't mind the winds of change when they so seldom come blowing through, but I'll certainly be taking note when they be whipped up into a maelstrom like this. Not that I be complaining. See, them skulls I mentioned, well, it would appear they ain't of much interest to the Order of Souls like most cranial remains, but they be worth an awful lot to, let's call her an independent third party. Something around 50,000 gold apiece, in fact. And all we got to do is follow a few simple X marks as spot maps. Almost makes me think old Briggsy's got a touch more to her desire for the accursed things than she be letting on. And not to brag or nothing, but methinks I've got an inkling as to what that desire may be, if you're catching me meaning. Oh, go to hell, Stretch. This has got Sugar Mama written all over it. I mean, okay, fine. She gave out them maps to everyone, but come on. Ain't you heard of playing hard to get? Well, I sure have. And speaking of hard to get, you know what ain't? Them funny blue skulls I were talking about. The seas be absolutely lousy with the blasted things. Seems like everyone's got their hands on at least one. And hell, I can't even set foot out of a tavern no more without spotting Briggsy's booty call on me mast. See? There's one now! I ain't even feeling no sense of urgency to be going after it on account of how many me mateys and I have claimed for ourselves. And with nary a single pirate daring to contest us for the majority of them voyages, let's just say your old captain is gonna be drinking good tonight. And every other night for the foreseeable future. But that's not to say that our experiences have been utterly devoid of swashbuckling, of course. We've had one or two run-ins with other crews what wanted the skulls for themselves, and were willing to die for the prize. Take, for example, the good ship Fenrir of what? Yggdrasil? Yggdrasil? No. Yggdrasil? Bah! Who cares? 'Twere a slope carrying what my crew and I were after. That be the important thing. And as any self-respecting pirate would do, we were more than willing to politely inform them that they had something what were belonging to us. Now, if only the crew could hit their shots worth a damn, maybe that message would have been received a touch more quick-like. See, while we were busy chasing after that blasted ship with the chest, that sneaky scoundrel were still on the island, digging up the key. Outsmarted us proper, he had, leaving us empty-handed while he were laying claim to everything he'd need. Or at least that'd be what I would say, were it not for a simple fact. The man had to leave the key behind in order to bring his ship back around. Never been more glad for merfolk being a finicky bunch what don't be hauling no loot for ye. The crew gave chase as Fenrir regained their helmsman, and I passed the time evading fire from any old threats what dared to take a crack at me. From the local undead population to the ship herself, spewing her wrath at me from just beyond the shore. Luckily, it be taking more than a bad aim and a couple bone bags to keep this old salt down, and as me mateys made fast and swept past, I made me dare and escape with the key. Meaning all we had to do now were lay claim to the chest it were going to. Next we saw of old Fenrir, she were sailing up at our broadside, almost looking to try and cut us off. Though it seemed her captain thought better of it, instead opting to run to our backs in a desperate bid to escape our guns. A bid so desperate, in fact, the poor thing ran herself aground. Our rival would run a few shots across our deck as we circled back towards him, with me trying to latch onto his ship with our harpoons all the while. But 'twould seem neither of us could hit the broadside of a galleon from more than perhaps 20 paces, give or take. And before you ask, no, I weren't much better on the cannons. In fact, it weren't until the next volley of shots were traded that fate would reveal unto me a perfect opportunity. We'd taken our fair share of blows, with our worthy opponent slinging a lucky chain shot straight into our rear sail. But that would prove to be a costly mistake on his end. See, by toppling our mast, the Fenrir's captain signed his own death warrant, slowing us down enough for our guns to launch me perfectly into the path of his ship. I snagged the ladder and made quick for the anchor, dropping it to ensure poor Fenrir could run no longer while I went below to dispatch her captain. With the siren chest in hand, and me crew making quick towards us, I did some rooting around Fenrir's barrels, helping myself to anything what struck me fancy. At least until their captain returned from the sea of the damned for one last scuffle. Once our foe's ship were laid to rest at the bottom of the sea, me crew and I were able to crack open the chest of siren song, granting us our reward, one which old Briggsy were more than happy to receive.
Come on, you can't miss me. Green, generally fantastic, mask.
Now, that weren't to be the only time me crew and I have come to blows o'er the skull, but by and by they all be ending the same, either through cunning or through cannon fire, or in some cases, sheer swiftness and sailing skill. We've claimed what be rightfully ours. I've no doubt in my mind that stories aplenty will come from this funny blue fish skull. And so long as there be grog to drink and ears to listen, I've no qualms with going on telling 'em. But for now, 'twould seem me tankard be feeling a touch lighter than usual. And oh, wouldn't you know it, me coin purse be back on me ship. So, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to totally go and grab that, and absolutely ne'er even consider sailing off without paying again. Anywho, wind in your sails, mateys, until we meet again.